In recent years, under the patriotism propaganda of the Chinese Communist Party, or CCP, many Chinese people are often quoted in the media and on the internet as saying that Chinese people don't cheat Chinese people. It's to show the kindness of Chinese people to their fellow citizens under the CCP's leadership. However, an increasing number of Chinese people at home and abroad have realized that they have to interpret certain statements in reverse to get their true meaning. Sir, many online rumors say that all the people behind the fraudulent parks in Myanmar are Chinese. What do you think about this as someone who has experienced it firsthand? Actually, speaking from the heart, Chinese people don't cheat Chinese people. The real situation is awful. I hope that when you go out, especially when you go overseas, don't ever strike up a conversation with a Chinese person. Don't trust strange Chinese individuals. Because I've personally experienced that all the owners of those fraudulent parks are Chinese, all the owners of the telecom fraud companies are Chinese, and foreigners aren't really involved. Like the Burmese, they just provide the turf and don't even care what you do on their turf because they are in anarchy. What I experienced was in the eastern part of Burma, in Myawaddy, where there was anarchy. My biggest thought at that time was that I must escape from the park. Why? Because I negotiated a payout with the owner. He refused. He doesn't want your money. He wants you as a human being because you can never fulfill his desires. If you think about it, a person who stays there, like I was with a company of 30 people, did almost $1 million in 1 month, and there was an online gaming industry salesman who did $4 million a year for him. Can your family get any of that $4 million and it's a year, okay? If he did it for 4 or 5 years, it would be hundreds of millions of RMB, so why would he let you go? No, that's why he won't give you up. This is the logical thinking of our Chinese. He wants to maximize your value. There are no foreigners involved. All the bosses are Chinese. So, you may have seen the news, the boss of the KK Park was arrested or something. I tell you, we'll never really know who the real boss behind the scene is. We really don't know. That's why the ones who get caught are always the small guys. I personally experienced it. Imagine the boss is arrested for real, but his park is still functioning normally. The KK Park was more than 9,000 people with a daily quota of $14 million. If you don't meet it, then everyone must be punished. Think about it, $14 million a day. So, the one who was arrested is only the one who was put in the front, and there's still deep water behind him. After escaping from the park, I was lucky to land in the hands of the local armed forces. Because the locals are only interested in money, they aren't as greedy as the Chinese. They only asked for 300,000 baht as a thank you fee, so I gave him a total of more than 10,000 dollars. Inside the park, even if you offer more than 100,000 dollars, you won't be able to get away. So that's the difference between locals and outsiders. So all the owners of the parks aren't locals. They must be us Chinese. All the owners of telecom fraud companies are Chinese. Chinese people pit Chinese people. Chinese people harm Chinese people, and everything is centered around China. The reality is actually heartbreaking. Of course, this group of people don't represent the majority of Chinese. They are just a small number of bad people. Maybe they have a criminal record in China and can't go back to China, so they are madly persecuting our fellow countrymen there. So, I hope you can keep your eyes open, sharp. Maybe there are snakeheads around you. Maybe there are fleets of runners, meaning money launderers, around you to use your credit card to help them launder money, to take advantage of your cognitive limitations, to tell you that you can find a high salary, you can go to earn money, do business or not, and trick you into going over there. But no matter what, you have no freedom once you are there. So, let's spread the positive energy, let's spread the word, and be careful when you go abroad. And especially in foreign countries, don't trust our so-called fellow Chinese people. Everyone should be especially vigilant. The fraudulent area in northern Myanmar is expanding southward, and the famous KK Park is located in southeastern Myanmar, 435 kilometers from Yangon, the major city of Myanmar, and 1,014 kilometers from Kunming City, Yunnan Province on the southwest border of China. If you open the satellite map of this area, you will find that once people are tricked into going into this area, they will be unable to escape. There is a river in the north, northeast, and east of the park with a width ranging from 30 to 50 meters. As Myanmar is a tropical region, the rivers have abundant water throughout the year. During the rainy season, from July to October, not only is the water level high, but the current is so strong that it's hard to imagine people being able to swim across the river when they are hungry, tired, and scared. Apart from the river, the park's northwest, west, southwest, and south sides are all facing the Burmese mainland. We can see the presence of a wall clearly on the satellite map. Imagine how thick and high the wall has to be to appear in a satellite image. Some netizens have drawn a rough outline of the wall based on the descriptions of the escaping victims. The height of the wall is about 3 to 5 meters, and there are guards at intervals of 200 meters. In the unlikely event that someone has escaped, they will be greeted by a vast expanse of farmland and wilderness. Knowing these people are runaways, some of the locals may drag you back for money. The KK Park is just one of many parks in Burma. They are all characterized by being next to rivers, having a single access point, being surrounded by farmland or wilderness, and the park itself is invariably surrounded by high fences, wire mesh fences, and heavy guards. Imagine what happens when you can't escape. Yes, it's a human hell. China News Weekly reported on June 25, 2023, that according to a police officer from the Public Security Bureau in Yunnan, a region in southern China, it's estimated that there are at least 1,000 parks all over Burma, and that there are almost hundreds of thousands of people banging away on their keyboards over there. Chinese media reported that on August 15, 2023, Thai police recorded that roughly 70,000 Chinese were sold from Thailand to the Mayawati township in Burma each year, equivalent to an average of nearly 200 people being resold each day. This is only the official figure released by the Thai authorities, and it can't be ruled out that many more people are victimized under the table. The successive revelations of scams in northern Myanmar have caused many Chinese people to panic. For example, on August 16, 2023, news broke in Chinese media circles that a human trafficker in a group chat had posted a message about human trafficking. The chat record showed that on August 3rd, a human trafficker said that Kunming had 2 people available, a 22-year-old female college student and a 17-year-old minor. A suspected buyer then contacted the trafficker to ask about the girl. On the morning of August 16th, the local media reporter contacted the police station where Lee's household registration and neighborhood were based. The community staff said the girl had been missing for many days and that the community and her family had tried unsuccessfully to contact her several times. Later the same day, however, Chinese media reported that on August 16th, the girl in question, Lee, claimed that she had lost her ID card and cell phone and that her identity information had been stolen. Lee responded to Red Star News saying that she was in Kunming and that she had now gotten in touch with her family and classmates. But netizens have expressed disbelief. Some netizens believe that the message was sent by the traffickers. The following case shows the general pattern of the fraud chain. In March 2023, on the Douyin platform, a user named Tech Control Automation Electrician recruited 80 people to work in Bangkok, Thailand with the lure of high salaries. The user claimed to be the person in charge of Baoding Science Control Automation Company. Victims reported that as soon as the plane landed, the employees were taken to the Thai border in preparation for bringing them to northern Myanmar. However, due to the high level of vigilance of the 80 people, everyone refused to go to northern Burma. It's reported that most of these 80 employees were highly alert and chose not to go to Burma with their boss. However, it was revealed by people in the know that a team leader had already been taken to Burma at that time. You just mentioned blockchain. None of us know about it. What am I supposed to do? You knew about the blockchain and you didn't tell us. You were coaxing us to participate in telecom fraud. Do you know how many years in jail you will be given because there are more than 80 of us? Coax us so many people to do the blockchain. You think about it. You know about it, but you don't tell us. You just said you knew. Everyone can testify to it. Previously, you said it was to make the fishmeal equipment, but it turned out to be this. You knew but didn't tell us. Didn't I already say that the Thai side tried to wash their hands of it? When recruiting the second batch later on, they asked if there was any exposure to the blockchain. But do you know what blockchain is? I don't know. Don't you even brush up on Douyin? Haven't you even tried researching it? They said blockchain isn't illegal in Thailand. Listen to me, do you know what the law is like in China? When foreigners break laws in China's territory, Chinese police will arrest them. When Chinese people break the law in a foreign country, as long as they are legally prohibited in China, you will still break the law, and you will still be arrested when you return to China. Now you will be leading us to break the law. Fortunately, we are fast to respond. Take a look at the law. Is it what we said? As long as you are Chinese citizens and have done illegal things overseas, police can still arrest you when you are back in China just the same. That is to say that all of you here are victims, but I'm telling you, the organizer, that even if you tell everyone that you're a victim, no one will believe you. Why? First, you are the organizer, understand? Secondly, all the money comes from you, you know what I mean? To put it bluntly, you can't even clear your name, understand? Now you belong to the large scale. That is, fraud plus human trafficking. You get us over here to sell us. The return ticket is fake. Do you understand what that means? More than 80 people. Think about it. US 27,000 per head. Figure out how much we're sold for. 50,000 a head. $27,000 would be the price years ago. They're talking about the US 27,000 selling prices now. Yes, the candidate who went scouting was sold for over 200,000. The two of them were on the phone just now. I even recorded and videotaped them. So, think about it. How many of us are here? We'll have nothing to talk about now. This matter is all but confirmed to be a scam. So, what does this scheme of selling people to Burma look like? Someone has summarized it.
Hebei Baoding, a company in the name of high salary, has tricked more than 80 people into going to Thailand, preparing to take them all to Myanmar. Recently, a Baoding science and control electrical automation company went viral online. It's not because the business has produced excellent results, but because he lured more than 80 people to Thailand to work in broad daylight under the name of high salary. As long as the plane landed, they were about to be sold to Myanmar. What a horrifying story. It's not different from selling piglets in broad daylight. This is it. In the past few years, a new type of high-paying scams have emerged one after another, catching people off guard. Fresh graduates must be vigilant. Let's take a look at the schemes. First of all, they have a good packaged domestic company. You're hired to work for a few months with high pay to hook you up, and then you're sent abroad for a few months, or in the name of corporate team building. Finally, when you are unguarded, you're sold as a piglet to northern Myanmar. The moment you leave China, you're attached with a price tag. It's pretty much the same scheme. Baoding Science Control Automation Company is the simplified version. The person in charge of recruitment teams up with the Myanmar Telecom fraud group to recruit people with high salaries and get them out of China, and then traffic them to Myanmar to collect fees for headcount. Fortunately, this time they have a lot of people and they're vigilant. There are a few sober people who can bring everyone back in time. Otherwise, the consequences of entering the north of Myanmar are unimaginable. Even if you have more people, there's no room to even fight back.
Maybe some audience thought of seeking help from the government and embassy at such a time. In fact, under the official Weibo of the Chinese embassy in Myanmar, there are tons of netizens who left messages asking for help. They are so anxious their loved ones were tricked into going to Myanmar. They are in a state of losing contact with each other. It's reported that some can only occasionally send 1 or 2 messages to their families. Although the official Weibo account of the Chinese embassy in Myanmar sometimes informs that a few more suspects have been escorted back, some netizens have left messages saying that there are still hundreds of thousands of trapped people and that the authorities are too slow. After a cluster of outbreaks of telecom fraud, human trafficking, kidnapping for ransom, and even rumors of organ-related business in northern Burma, some Chinese netizens suggested that China should cut off its network signals with Burma to stop such momentum from growing. In fact, the CCP has a close relationship with these regions of Myanmar. Myanmar is strategically located in the Indo-Pacific with a land area of more than 670,000 square kilometers. making it the second largest country in Southeast Asia after Indonesia. It's close to India and Bangladesh in the northwest, bordering China's Yunnan province and Tibet Autonomous Region in the northeast, Thailand and Laos in the southeast, and close to the northwestern exit of the Malacca Straits corridor in the south, and bordering the Bay of Bengal in the west. This country is an important base station in Southeast Asia for the CCP's One Belt, One Road project. In addition to connecting China's Yunnan province to the Bay of Bengal and the Indian Ocean to break the international embargo, it can also drive a nail into the strategic map of the U.S. Indo-Pacific region. As early as 26 years ago, China sent electricity from the major southwestern hydroelectric province, Yunnan province, to northern Burma. In August 2022, according to AFP and the Bangkok Post, Thai police captured the king of online scams, a Chinese national who founded KK Park. And on July 20th, 2019, China Overseas Chinese Network reported the signing ceremony of cooperation between the China Center for International Economic Exchanges and KK Park in Beijing. According to the report, the subsidiary company of China Center for International Economic Exchanges will do top-level design for KK Park, provide intellectual support and guarantee in infrastructure, engineering construction, and other aspects, and strive to make the park a model flagship project in the construction of Belt and Road. Many analysts believe that some complexes in Myanmar have a mixture of buildings, hotels, casinos, and various types of criminal activities, involving the cooperation of Chinese triad firms with some of Myanmar's armed factions. The CCP has propped up the criminal forces to disrupt this country. By doing so, it indirectly manipulates and constrains the local government to gain the geopolitical upper hand in Southeast Asia. Even from many reports in Chinese media, it can be seen that these special groups in Burma use RMB and Chinese cell phones. Chinese banks have opened branches in Burma. It can be said that everything here is Chinese except that it's not Chinese territory. On July 23rd, NetEase published Inspiration Meng Guangzhang got admitted to Peking University. It reported that Meng Guangzhang, the son of Meng Guoan, the owner of the Crouching Tiger Villa in northern Burma, was admitted to Peking University. This Crouching Tiger Villa has imprisoned and brutalized a large number of Chinese people. On July 25th, People Daily reported that Jilin Foreign Friendship Association and the Myanmar Tourism Association signed a memorandum of understanding to establish a mutual tourism destination relationship. Mainland netizens questioned, what is the real purpose of signing a mutual tourism agreement? To deliver goods to the doorstep?